So, how do you build wealth through real estate and buy your first multifamily home? About to talk about in this video right now. Let's get it. Yo, what's up YouTube? This your boy Kurt with Wealth and Fitness Lifestyle. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, notification bell to get future content. I want to thank everyone who supported the channel, who's liked all the videos, made their comments, showed me love on the Teespring with the Wealth and Fitness gear. So make sure you check that out. Link is in the description. So in this video, what I want to talk about today is the whole concept of real estate and how to build wealth through real estate. And I want to kind of take this from the standpoint of my story and how I got involved. And I think that if you guys hear my story and hear how I got involved, it would teach you, everything you need to know about getting started, especially if you're interested in purchasing your first multifamily home. So I'm originally, I currently live in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey, and I originally lived in Brooklyn, New York. And when I was in my mid-20s, I always wanted to be a homeowner. I always wanted to purchase property. Didn't really understand the whole concept of real estate. How do people make money through real estate? How do you build wealth through real estate and all that stuff, right? And I remember 2012, I saw this one video on YouTube, and you guys may know Jay Morrison, Mr. Real Estate. And he had this video on YouTube that broke down and simplified how to purchase your first multifamily home. And it was so simple and easy of a blueprint that I just modeled and did exactly what he said in that particular video. And that inspired me to start my journey. Shout out to Jay Morrison, by the way. So what I did was I worked in New York City, worked for the same organization for about 15 years now. And in New York and Brooklyn, when you start looking at the prices of properties, I lived in a brownstone all my life. I said, these are $1 million properties. There's no way I'm going to purchase my first home in New York City. Could not afford it, right? Especially on the salary that I have, right? I just couldn't afford it. So I started researching areas in New Jersey that's close enough to where I live, in Brooklyn, where it's close enough to where my family is and where I can get to work. And I came upon Jersey City, which they call it the sixth borough, but it's relatively close. I mean, you can get to Manhattan from Jersey City faster than some places in the Bronx from Manhattan or from Brooklyn or Queens or whatever. So anyway, one of my best friends, and shout out to my boy Chris, he was on the same kind of journey trying to purchase property, right? We saw all the Jay Morrison videos. We got excited and said, shit, we want to purchase property. He actually was the one who purchased his property in Jersey City. He got a 2-family home, which one day, after he closed on his house, he said, Kurt, you got to come out with me to Jersey City. I came out with him, and that's when it inspired me to say, you know what, I'm going to do this, start this process. But the first step of the process is making sure that your credit score is correct. You got to make sure that your credit score is on point. Why? Because your credit score is going to determine, your interest rate, right, on your mortgage. So what I did was I made sure that I got my credit score to at least over a 600, right? Because with FHA, you could put it down as low as 3.5%, is which I actually did, and a 580 credit score. I think those may have changed because of the whole pandemic situation, but with a FHA loan, you could put down as low as 3.5% with a 580 credit score, right? So I got my credit score, over 600, and I applied to get a pre-approved for a mortgage, in which the company that I was used pre-approved me. They pre-approved me for a certain amount, right? And in order to start looking at properties and for a realtor to start showing you properties so they know that you're serious, you have to have your pre-approval. That basically tells you if you were to purchase a home, how much that bank would lend you. That's what a pre-approval letter. So they may say, we pre-approve you for $260,000, which means that based upon your debt to income ratio and how much you make, this is what we are pre-approved you for a loan to purchase the property, right? So you get your pre-approval letter, then your realtor is going to want to see that, and then at that point your realtor will start showing you property. So what I did was I started looking and researching in Jersey City. It's really close for me to get to the city to get to work, so it was working out good. I must have saw about 30 multifamily homes, right, in Jersey City, and I probably out of the 30 saw 3 I really wanted, right? Because also too, I was going to live in the property and maintain the property. But the key to reason why you want to do multifamily homes is because you want that rental income to be able to help you pay that mortgage, and you want that rental income to help you even get a pre-approved for that particular loan if your debt to income ratio doesn't meet a certain threshold, and I'll explain in a minute, right? So I saw this property that I was interested, and one of my videos I talk about do the math, right? So what I did on all the properties that I was looking at, there's 4 components to your mortgage, right? Your principal, which the money is going towards paying off the loan amount. The interest, everybody knows what interest is, right? So your mortgage is comprised of the principal, interest, your homeowner's insurance, because you're going to have insurance on the property, and the taxes. And the taxes will determine, especially in New Jersey, determining how much your mortgage is. In certain areas in New Jersey, your taxes cost more in certain areas than in others, which will make your mortgage amount fluctuate, right? So I saw this one property, multifamily home. We had tenants already in it. It's a duplex. And what I did was I submitted an offer to the seller, basically how much I would pay for the property. And what they do is you submit an offer, and then I think in about a couple of days you'll hear back if the seller accepts your offer. Once they accept your offer, you then put down a money earnest deposit, to the brokerage when your realtor is from, and you go into something called attorney review, which means that once you put in your offer and they accept your offer, you develop your lawyer and the seller's lawyer, the buyer's lawyer and seller's lawyer, basically come up with a contract, and you have 3 days to negotiate those 3 days your contract with that person, whether if you're going to have them cover the cost of your closing, whether you purchasing the property is going to be contingent on you securing financing from the loan company, right? So you have those 3 days to negotiate the contract, and after those 3 days you go into what's called under contract. That means that when you're under contract to purchase that property, you have to get a appraisal on the property, right? You have to get I did an oil tank sweep to see if there was underground abandoned oil tank under the property. You do appraisal, and you do a home inspection, right? And then inside your contract, your lawyer will work with you, upon something happening with the inspection. That'll all be in the contract as well. That's why it's important to do your home inspection on your property. And that's something that, by the way, you pay out of pocket. The home inspection normally costs about $500. The appraisal might cost a little bit less than that, and the oil tank sweep. So, that's about almost $1,000 of your own money that you will actually, cover a cost, during the whole under contract process. And then after that, you go into something called underwriting, where this is where shit get kind of crazy, where they go through all your finance. They make sure that they have copies. They want to know where every piece of money came from in your account. They start going through all your shit. They start, your 401k. They want copies of your resources. They want to verify, based upon what's in your 401k, what's in your bank accounts, where your deposit is that you're going to put down to bring the closing. They want to verify all your finances to make sure that you can afford to pay back the loan that they're about to give you. And then you set a closing date where you come with your cashier's check with your down payment. You come with your lawyer. The seller come with their lawyer, and they bring you a bottle of champagne. The lady from the title company come, and you sign a fucking book like this thick of documents. I think the lady from the title company at some point just said, stop reading it and just sign it. Because everybody just wanted their money. You know, money was just being passed to everyone. All I got was some damn raggedy ass keys that I had to remake for the property. But let me tell you something. It felt really, really good to purchase my first multifamily home. And then obviously, you know, I became a landlord. And that's another topic for discussion in terms of, you know, now that you purchase, if you purchase one multifamily, you obviously want to replicate the same process. You know, so once you live in a property for a certain amount of time, your property builds equity. Equity is the difference between what you owe versus what your house is worth. And then at that particular time, you know, you could pull the equity out your property, purchase the next property, multifamily. And the reason why you want to do multifamily, because you want to have that rental income that's going to help you cover the mortgage and also eventually make a profit, which is called return on investment, right? So what I'm doing now is focusing on purchasing the next multifamily, then rinse, recycle, and repeat the process. I wanted this video to be a little different in a lot of YouTube videos on how to purchase your multifamily home, because I felt that it was necessary and important to share my story and my why, right? And I didn't want to oversimplify with having a board and writing all these documents and writing all these step by step. I wanted it to sound more authentic in terms of my story, because sometimes, you know, when you're using all these terminologies and steps, it confuses the shit out of people and people just get turned off. I wanted this to come from a sincere motivation of, you know, what inspired me to go through the process. You will learn a lot. And when I became a landlord, I learned a lot about houses that I didn't even know. You know, learn how electrical system works. Learn how, you know, to do stuff myself that people, you know, pay carpenters, electricians to do. And there's some things that I just did myself using YouTube and Google that would have cost me hundreds, a couple of $100 just to pay somebody to do it. So there is a learning process, and that hopes that hones onto your skills to add to your repertoire of things that you know. But what I would say is building wealth through real estate is a key cornerstone, and it could be your foundation for you and your family. The other caveat and part to this is, which I think is important, you could, once you go through the process, and once you do the process and you purchase multiple properties, just using that same system, don't overthink it, rinse, recycle, and repeat, right? You could teach others to do the same thing, just like I'm teaching you guys in this video. You know, I didn't start using, you know, these long, lengthy terms that nobody cares about, nobody knows about. I basically told you the simple steps. Get your credit right. Get pre-approval. Know where you want to purchase your first home. Do some research. Research is going to entail, you know, is it going to be close commute to where I work? Or transportation if I don't drive. Do all of that stuff. You know, learn. When you go through the process, you're going to learn. I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of people who don't even own property, haven't even, been through the whole process, but will sit there and tell you how to purchase your family home and how to tell you, well, don't purchase this house in this area because the school's this and the school's that. Bullshit. I'm just going to tell you right now. Get a multifamily home, do the research behind it, go through the process, and educate others on how to do it and follow behind your lead. Yo, it's your boy Kurt with Wealth and Fitness Lifestyle. Hope this video was motivation for you. I just wanted to have this in my head that I want to get out before I do this run on the track. Let's get fit. Let's gain wealth. If anybody's interested in having any particular questions about real estate, about multifamily homes, drop it in the comment, or my link in my Instagram is in the description. You can shoot me a DM. I'll be more than happy to help anyone. I just helped 3 brothers, even through this quarantine, go through the process a couple of months ago, which kind of helped me get started. Aiden Noah Holdings LLC, to buy and sell real estate. Because now, with the knowledge that I have, I can teach others and help everybody out. So let's get fit, let's gain wealth, let's improve our lifestyle, baby. We out here.